You know, could I introduce a concept today? Also, it's relating to a bill I have, and it's relating to the alcohol reform measures, which was on the agenda. So I had a constituent bring to me an effort to change the way sampling was occurring on the sites of retail establishments. So right now, you can actually sample beers on site. But we have a lot of new businesses coming into our state. We have a lot of tourists that have a palate for wine. And so what we want to do, or what I have proposed to do, and I've talked to Senator Valentine about this, is to allow sampling of those wines at the retail location. It would be purchased through DABC. It would be, again, regulated, but it would provide the alcohol sampling of wines and spirits on the side of the retail establishments. Right now what's happening is, as some have told me, this sampling is occurring in violation of the law. And so those that are complying with the rules are really being shut out of this process. So we're trying to determine whether this is something that can be rolled into Senator Valentine's bill this session, or whether it's going to have to wait. But it's, again, important as it relates to these retail establishments being able to decide for themselves what is a good wine for them, without having to go through the process now, which is there's a wine sampling committee, they buy, they ship up, and then the retailers don't even know if they have a good product for their clientele. So again, it's an effort to more normalize what's going on in many other states relative to wine sampling. And so as the alcohol discussion moves forward, I hope that becomes part of it.
We've gotten an answer, or what's the reception into that?
So as I understand it, Senator Valentine does have a proposal which would allow sampling at a site, not at the retail location. This has been tried apparently in years past. The problem was the retailers don't have the time to actually go down to the sampling location and test for them, and they hadn't been able to do it. But the DABC apparently provided some flexibility. They offered it. Retailers weren't taking advantage of it, again, because it was too much of a business disruption. So this would be allowing it on site, just as they do for beer currently. Senator Valentine said that he is at least open to the dialogue. Obviously, he wants to vet it through some community organizations, and that's where it is now. So he's trying to get community discussion kind of behind the scenes as to whether or not this is something that would also be rolled into his bill.
Has this type of legislation been tried before with the wine tastings? I
don't believe so. No, but like I said, DABC allowed some brief trial, but it was at the site, not at the retailer's location.
Not the production site?
So this would be like if you have a hotel or you have a restaurant, that sample could be brought to the hotel and restaurant and tried there. Again, it would be regulated, so you could only pour X amount, and you could only have X amount of samples per day, and you couldn't swallow. I mean, it truly is for sampling purposes, but it would provide these, folks that, as we're opening ourselves up to more and more tourists, more and more of this becomes part of the dining experience, particularly for the wines and spirits.
Senator Valentine said he wasn't quite sure of the support he'd get in the Senate to even move that bill. Has he given you further insight? If you add more to how it would go?
Well, I don't know that this will add support to it, but I think is to the extent we are opening up the whole concept of alcohol regulation, whether this is a reasonable part of that discussion. Again, the tenets are to, though, avoid underage drinking, to make sure we're not over-consuming, and to make sure we're not drinking and driving. And so those are kind of the background issues in which all alcohol policy is decided in the state of Utah. And so to the extent this doesn't enhance any of those things we're trying to avoid, it may work itself into